Welcome and half a day. My name is Captain Joelle Banjo-Johnson, Public Affairs Officer from Anderson Air Force Base. Today we have a very special guest who's making a very special treat. Come and join us for this next session of Island Palate. Today we have a very special guest, Miss Alicia Joyce. She was raised here in Guam, and it's such a treat to have you here with us today.
Thank you. I'm super excited to cook with you. This is going to be a blast.
Right. See what we can do today. All right. So if you wouldn't mind just explaining what we're actually going to cook today.
Today I'm going to show you a very traditional chamorro dish. And what it is, it's one of those dishes you find at every fiesta. Typically it's going to be like a Christmas or a holiday or something really fun, but they are called shrimp patties. Okay. And you cannot leave the island without knowing what a shrimp patty is, sister. So that's what we're going to work on today. Okay. The basics of a shrimp patty are actually very simple. You're going to have your batter, which is going to be some flour, a little bit of carnation milk, and some baking powder. Okay. And then the actual ingredients that make up the bulk are going to be some shrimp. Always start with uncooked shrimp, by the way. Don't buy the shrimp that's pre-cooked. Prepped shrimp, though, you know, where you just pull off the skin and stuff. Okay. That's what I got here, pulled off the tail, so I've prepped those. Right. This is basically just frozen vegetables. So buy a nice bag of mixed vegetables. I like to use shallot because flavor is just a little lighter. Then we have some minced garlic. And then your seasonings are basically just some good salt. Don't use iodized salt, use some good salt and some black pepper. We are roughly going to make between 24 and 36 patties.
All right, so we have enough here for Balutin. Remember that, yeah?
Yeah. There you go. Oh, you know a good word already. Good girl. So, to start with, I'm going to have you prep the shrimp. Now, I've already taken off all the skins and things, but what you're going to do is just pour your shrimp out. You just take the back of a flat cup. So you start smashing.
Okay, now what does this do?
You're just breaking up the shrimp so that when you mix up that batter, you get a nice distribution of the shrimp instead of these big pieces. This recipe is my Auntie Nita's traditional recipe. This is what I learned by her side.
Okay, so we've got all our shrimp here smashed here in the bowl.
Yep.
And what's next?
We're gonna add in the vegetables.
All right.
About a quarter cup of diced shallot, 2 cloves of garlic. And now go ahead and stir that around. Once you have your ingredients in the bowl, you're actually going to start with a little bit of flour, just to coat those, and a little bit of carnation milk.
Smells lovely. You can smell that garlic.
And I'll go ahead and add in the black pepper and the sea salt. We're going to add some more flour and just incorporate as you go.
So the key is just to slowly add the flour so it doesn't clump.
Exactly, you don't want it to clump.
So when making this at home, you need a kitchen helper.
Yeah.
Smells great, looks good. Good consistency, you can tell with the spoon.
Just thick enough, just battery enough, but it's not drowning. Now the reality too is once we drop it in the oil, we're gonna taste one that's cooked, and then that's where the whole is it a good taste comes in, because you do want to taste it.
So is this preheated oil?
It's preheated oil, but because we don't use a temperature gauge, we're gonna test it. So we're gonna drop one in. If the oil is too cold, it's gonna end up sucking up a lot of oil, and then you end up with something that's heavy. You want it hot, but you also want it to be able to cook for 3 to 4 minutes. So if it's too hot, it browns too fast. Okay. And so that's how somebody can gauge whether or not they have the right oil temperature. Hear that sizzle? Right. That's what you want. So you want them rolling around like that.
Could you do it vegan as well?
You could totally do it vegan. You could just leave the shrimp out, but then again, you'd offset that part of the recipe with something else that has some bulk. So you could add more vegetables and just make it with vegetables. The beauty of the way that this is done with the milk and the flour and the baking powder is they do it with banana too, or you can do it with, you know, other things.
So make it more a dessert dish.
You could. You can make it sweet. Yep, yep. And that is what buñuelos is you have all these variations of buñuelos on the island. Guamanians are big on buñuelos, which is just our local donut. So this is a shrimp version of the buñuelos. That is perfect. Not too oily. See how there's not a bunch of oil on our fingers? It's actually really nice.
Right, it's quite good. Flakes away quite easily as well. That's good. That's really good.
So now we can just we'll just keep throwing them in the pan.
These are really
make up
good.
20 for you and hopefully 20 for me. And
that works out. Cheers.
Cheers. Try and drop them lightly so they don't stick to the bottom.
Stick to the bottom of the pan. I'm really tempted to use my fingers, but
You could use your
let me
hands.
do that. So I'm gonna wash my hands. So this is what the final product should look like.
Yep.
Again, the texture you're looking for, nice golden brown. It'll smell really good texture. Woo. It's been a pleasure, truly a pleasure. We're so grateful to have you on our show.
Thank
It's
you.
been such a treat. And we made the shrimp patties. Thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you. Enjoy.
So all of us here from Island Palate, take care, adios, and happy eating.